The path that you chose to be is very hard. The path that you chose to be is very uncomfortable. And the path that you chose to be is very challenging. And everything is war. Why, you may ask? Well, let's say you have two parts in your brain. One part that wants you to stay in comfort, in what's familiar, in what's known, and wants you to be safe and protected. And you have the other side of your brain who wants you to grow, who wants you to gain skills, who wants you to gain knowledge that will help you achieve your goals. This is war because both of them are trying to convince you that their way is right. One is trying to convince you that you should stay where it's comfortable because it's safe, and the other one tries to convince you that you should move to your edge, be uncomfortable, and that's how you gain skills, you gain knowledge, and you gain closer to your goals. And this is war because both opposing sides are trying to achieve the same thing, which is convince you that their way is the best. It is a war inside of you. It's not a war fought on the streets or fought with other people. It's a war that you fight in yourself. It's not a bloody war. It's just a war that requires you to be mentally sharp and disciplined. Let me tell you a story of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was one of the political activists in his country in South Africa around like 45, 50 years ago. And he, with a group of friends, of people, tried to switch the regime there, tried to switch, the political ideas behind what would happen in that country back then. And because of that, he was brought to prison on a small island in Johannesburg, I think, close to Cape Town or something like that. And he was put in a prison for 20 something years. After more than 20 years, he was brought back to freedom. Guess what he did? He went back to political life and he became the first color, president of South Africa. He implemented his ideas, and now South Africa is a very, emerging country. What I'm trying to tell you is this: he was put through fire. He was put through the worst conditions that one person can handle, and he stands still on his ideas, on his ideals, on what he believed it was right. That's the challenge that he faced. 20 something years in a prison. He could have switched and he could have been like, yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize, and he would be liberated and stuff like that, but he would betray his ideals. He didn't do that. He stayed on path and he achieved his goal. That challenge that he had, the rocks that were thrown at him, that was a test from God for him, in which he was tested to see if he is really the man who he preaches he is, if he stands still for his ideals, and he would go through fire for them. He would put immense sacrifices into achieving his goal, and he was that person. Are you prepared to do the same thing for your goals? Are you prepared to do the same thing for your life and for your ideals? Every challenge that you encounter, every obstacle that you have in your face is just a test for you to see if you are really the person that you say you are, if you are really doing the habits that you are saying you are doing. If you bend at the smallest touch of discomfort, you'll never get to achieve your goals because you're gonna keep switching and switching and switching until you're not gonna know who are you exactly. It is a war between comfort and uncomfort. And a similar thing kinda happened to me as well. It was late December 2022, and I wanted to start going to the gym with my best friend. Well, the thing was that at that time I thought gym was weird. I thought it was like a spot for crazy people to go there and lift some weights. I didn't know it was really helpful for you. And I could have stayed home. I could have worked on my agency. I could have stayed in something that's comfortable for me, that's I was familiar with my home, my house, with my family, my friends, and I didn't do that. There was a war inside me who told me, yeah, stay home. It's familiar. You can work on your business. You can, don't have to go there. It's cold outside. It's not a pleasant weather to be there. Gym might be dangerous. You may encounter a killer on the road or something like that. That was like some of my thoughts back then. But still, the other side told me, well, this is something new. You may gain muscle, which is crazy. Build your friendship even more because you spend time more with your friend. And I went. I didn't overthink. That was a quality that I had back then. I didn't overthink on things because I wasn't that smart. And it is one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. It had a tremendous effect on me and it affected all the areas of my life. It also improved them drastically. The first thing is to build discipline. And discipline is basically doing what you said you are going to do. Now this may sound silly, but most people don't have discipline because they don't really do what they say they're gonna do. Some people say they're gonna start lifting weights and they don't. Some people say they're gonna eat healthy and they don't. Some people say they're gonna start business or a hobby and they don't. And at first, if you're at level 0, you gotta start with level 0 habits, with level 0 actions, because that's how you're gonna build momentum. And that's how you're gonna be able to achieve your goal. If you're on this channel, probably you have some goal in your mind that you want to achieve. The next thing that you want to do is to do progressive overload. So you start with a small goal, but if you stay at the same level, you're gonna be at the same level for your entire life. But progressive overload comes from the gym world mainly, and it's when you put and add some weight to it, to your barbell or to your squats. You add some weight to them each and every week, and that's how you're gonna make progress. For example, this week you're gonna lift 20 kilograms, next week you're gonna lift 22 kilograms, the other week you're gonna lift 23, and that's how you make progress. The same with your habits, the same with your actions. Let's say today you're gonna record one video, or today you're gonna study one lesson, tomorrow you're gonna do even more, and the next day after tomorrow even more. There's no limit to this, I would say. And you don't fight against time, you fight against efficiency. So you don't need more time, you need to be more efficient. And that's always a thing that you can do. There's no limited efficiency. Use progressive overload for everything that you do in your life. Every single thing that's a challenge for you, every single thing that you wanna evolve in, use progressive overload for it. You wanna read a book, well, start with 1 page, tomorrow 2 pages, 3 pages. You wanna listen to an audiobook, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Start small, because the next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna get small wins. And this is the third point. We have to build discipline first, which is through small actions. You gotta use progressive overload, and with small wins, we're gonna get to big win. Small wins is, yeah, I did 10 push-ups today. That's a big win. I am capable of doing that. That's a small win that you compound and compound and compound. And at the end of the year, you're gonna do like 100 push-ups and you're gonna be shredded. But if you didn't have that small win back then, if you didn't celebrate them, you wouldn't be there. Because a lot of people don't believe in small wins. They don't think like, yeah, doing one thing, like for example, eating healthy one day or even one meal which is healthy, that's not a small win. It is a small win that you can compound, and with small wins you're gonna build yourself into a healthier person. Even a fire, you started with a spark, with a small spark, and then it grows and it grows and it grows until it's a big fire that can bring down a damn forest. And this simple process you can use in each skill, because if you're doing this right, you're always gonna feel at your edge, at the edge of comfort and discomfort. And this is nice because it's gonna push you towards more confidence, towards more achievements, towards more progress. You always wanna be at that limit, and even with a step into discomfort, always and always you're gonna have to be at your edge if you wanna have progress and improve. There's a feeling that you need to have that edge day. Things are getting more complex. You're not sure how to do them because you haven't been there. It's not familiar with you. And that's a good, I want you to smile when you are in that type of situation, because that's, a situation where you can improve. That's an opportunity for you to gain skills and become more of the person that you want to become. And yeah, I have a community with like-minded people, with courses that you can see on this topic, first link in the description. Now, I want to give you the straight action points. So if you're in college, this is what you need to do. First of all, you need to build disciplines through small habits. Set some small habits that you want to do. Then do them, but each week put more on them. Do progressive overload. And after you do each of them, celebrate. Maybe note them down in a notebook or put them on your wall. Small win. And with those small wins, you're gonna progressive overload. You're gonna do even more. Small wins, even more. You're gonna get more confidence, and you're gonna reach, your bigger goal. For example, in college, some of the things that I'm trying to do next time when the semester starts and that are gonna put me in that discomfort zone is going to office hours, which I believe are very, very important, because you're gonna meet a lot of crucial people for the area that you want to go and master, and those people have some knowledge that you don't have, which is very nice. So you can use this with clubs and activities. You can go and network with people, and each time push you to discover more stuff and more stuff. I'm not saying you to do a lot of stuff, I'm saying you to do less stuff but more of those. So where you have a fear, that's where I want you to focus on. If you have a fear of social anxiety, or you have a fear of putting yourself out there, starting a business, doing something, where you have a fear, that's where you should be, and exploiting that fear, because that's how you gain skills, and that's how you overcome challenges. And of course, guys, don't forget this: win your mornings and conquer your days.